Right, welcome to this Tactics to Showcase video. It's the Space Wolves, and we'll take a look at the Venerable Dreadnought here in this episode, and a certain combination I've gone for, which I think looks superb, and is superb in the game. So it's a unit with some vulnerabilities, we'll cover that here in this episode, but also I think it's a great looking unit, and one that can do very well in your Space Wolves list. It is a showcase video, so we'll take a look at the model as well, just a chance to zoom in and take a look. This is the one that I have here. So the famous Blizzard Shield and the Fennrisian Great Axe. These superb dreadnoughts that Games Workshop have put together for the Space Wolves range. When I was thinking about collecting Space Wolves, even assembling a list for commission work, I didn't want regular Space Marine units, you know, like Rhinos and Land Raiders and so on. I wanted stuff that had been sculpted uniquely for this chapter, and so these dreadnoughts here, fantastic. They really are beautiful. We'll zoom in and take a look at this model. So there he is. What an imposing model on the board. A dreadnought with a massive shield and a huge axe. Two-sided. only the Space Wolves could come up with something like that, but fantastic model. Really is good. So you can see the glowing runes here. It's a nice touch. This model here has been painted by Siege Studios, so you can check them out for painted commission work, but they've done a very neat and tidy job on this one. Look at the runes here picked out, and the bone here on the shield. Brilliant work. And the axe. So the glowing runes, and then the ice here they've glossed on. They put some gloss on that just to give it that glint and shimmer. Yeah, you can see that on the camera. Nice. Made a nice feature of that, and the gold work they've done on the gold looks great as well. So very happy with these dreadnoughts here. It's great to see them lumbering. Always love the combination of infantry with dreadnoughts sort of lumbering in between, sort of marching together. Always loved that idea, and I've been able to do that kind of theme for this Space Wolves list. But we'll check out the Venerable Dreadnought. There's multiple options. I'll major in on this one. This is the one I've gone for, but we'll check out and see what the rules are here for the Venerable Dreadnought. So it's here under Elites. The vulnerability that I mentioned at the start is that this Venerable Dreadnought is not a character. I still go for this unit because I take the invuln saves. That's going to help a fair bit. Opponent's going to fire las cannons and so on, that kind of weaponry at this target, and you want some kind of decent save. And so 4+ invuln save is half a chance of blocking the shot. You know, you have a reroll on standby to try and stop those high caliber shots from coming through. Sadly, it used to be a 3+ save, which is brilliant, but now it's been dropped to 4+, which is a real shame. But still, 4+ invuln save in a Dreadnought is excellent. So the Venerable Dreadnought, my combination works out at 147 points. He's 80 points base, and then I'm paying for the Stormbolter on him, just 2 points. The Blizzard Shield, which is 15. And then the Fennrisian Great Axe, which is 50 points, expensive enough, so 147 points, but not too bad. 147, it's okay, it's a decent enough dreadnought. Movement 6 for this guy, so he's not as quick as, say, Murderfang, for example. It's weapon skill of 2+, ballistic skill of 2+, so that weapon skill 2+ is excellent. It means that these attacks that he makes, every attack is precious with a Dreadnought. You don't get loads of attacks usually, so every attack is really going to help. So weapon skill 2+ is a big thing, especially if you've only got like 4 attacks that you're going to be making. Strength 6, toughness 7, it's tough as a tank. Wounds 8, 4 attacks, which is good. It is good for a Dreadnought, and then leadership 8 and a 3+ save. The Venerable Dreadnought is a single model armed with an assault cannon, Stormbolter, and Dreadnought close combat weapon. So you can go for this kind of combination here. The close combat weapon and the shooting ability. You're making use of that ballistic skill 2+ and weapon skill 2+. You can go for the balance. I've geared mine more towards close combat. It's an aggressive army that I have, and I want these Dreadnoughts to not just dish out some damage in close combat, but I want them to really take targets down quickly. So it's all out close combat ability for this guy, but depends what the need is in your list. If you need a bit of firepower, stick it on Dreadnought, but Yeah, but if you do that, you'll lose your invuln save. That's the massive incentive for taking that Blizzard Shield. Because he does get, every game of play he gets targeted. And so the invuln save often helps out. But it's only half a chance, and so I wouldn't stick him out right at the centre of the army for all of the enemy units to see. I'd still hide him and be as cunning as possible, even with that invuln save, just knowing the fact that he can't be hidden behind screens. So if I'm deploying my army, and I've got a multiple dreadnoughts at the back, which I plan to have, the character ones I'll stick more in the open, behind the screen, because I know the opponent's not going to get through to them. But for a unit like the Venerable Dreadnought here, that's the kind of unit I'll try and hide behind something. I'll try and work out a path up the table that's nicely hidden in order to give him, the best chance possible. If the whole army, if the whole enemy's army targets him, he'll die. So I'll try and think of ways to. One of the best ways to avoid damage is to hide, to be out of sight, and then that'll keep you out of trouble. So the options then, this model replaces its assault cannon with a weapon from the Dreadnought heavy weapons list. So there's plenty of options available. Yeah, and it can be worth doing because there is that ballistic skill 2+ there. So heavy weapons, so heavy plasma cannon, the Hellfrost cannon, which is pretty good, the multi-melter and the twin laser cannon. So you can give it some very high caliber firepower on one of its arms. So it's definitely an option. Then this one will replace its Dreadnought combat weapon with Stormbolter missile launcher, so if you really want to go for a bit of DAC, you can stick that on there. The other, actually just thinking it, the other massive advantage of putting weapons on a Dreadnought is that he doesn't have a damage chart here. So he could be on his last wound and still fire at full ballistic skill of 2+. That's a big thing as well. So, firepower, not going to write that off, it's definitely a strong option. This model will replace its Stormbolter with Heavy Flamer, not much significance to that, and this model will replace its Dreadnought combat weapon with a Great Wolf Claw. So a Dreadnought close combat weapon, 30 points, taking a bit of a points reduction, and then the Great Wolf Claw 45, so paying a fair bit more. But if it makes it more potent, it may well be worth it. So the Great Wolf Claw then. So the Dreadnought close combat weapons ×2 strength, strength 12, -3 and 3 damage, which is solid enough. The Great Wolf Claw is +4 strength, so strength 10, so not as strong. So -2, and it's 3 damage. Oh, and you reroll foul wound rolls this weapon. So you're rerolling wounds, but yeah. I just take the Dreadnought close combat weapon, I think. Yeah, I think it's better value. Then this model may replace its Dreadnought combat weapon, so we'll cover that with a missile launcher. Model will replace its Stormbolter Heavy Flamer. The Wolf Claw. This model will replace its assault cannon and Dreadnought close combat weapon with a Fennrisian Great Axe of Blizzard Shield. That's the combination I go for. So I just say, right, I'm going to go for close combat. You get granted a bit of decent amount of protection with the invuln save and the Fennrisian Great Axe as well, which is already checked out. It's 50 points for that. So it's a fair bit more expensive than the Dreadnought close combat weapon, but it's an awesome weapon. So it is, yeah, well, there's some other war gear here, but we'll cover this weapon here. So the Fennrisian Great Axe, you choose one of the profiles below, so it's adaptable depending on what you're fighting against. One worry for this guy is he gets bogged down against infantry, but there's a bit of a counter to that with going for the Scythe option. So the Fennrisian Great Axe, the first one is Cleave, +4 strength, so strength 10, AP -3, and then D6 damage. Attacking with this weapon, it's -1 to the hit rolls. So it become a 3+. It's the great thing about having a 2+ weapon skill. 3+ then, and if he charges, it goes back up to 2+. So it's not really going to be too much of a problem for getting those hits. So that's a superb option. If you're able to hit the target 4 times and then get, say, 2 or 3 wounds coming through at AP -3, all of a sudden it's multiple D6 damage coming through against whatever targets. That's pretty good. Then against infantry, here, any type of infantry really, it's strength of the user, strength 6, AP -3, which is really good. 1 damage, and it's make 2 hit rolls for each attack made with this weapon instead of 1. So you'll get actually 8 attacks from this Dreadnought, 2s to hit. Usually 3s to win against infantry, and you'll be able to hack some down. I mean, you'll you know, sort of standard Space Marines or Chaos Space Marines will hack through those very, very quickly. But I find the most potent is that Fennrisian Great Axe. He's on the hunt for big targets, monsters and vehicles and characters and so on. It's the Great Axe, and then that Blizzard Shield to grant that protection as well, I think is a must. It comes with smoke launchers, so you can activate those to get a -1 to hit. That'll definitely help him out who's trying to move around the table. He can be shot at. So smoke launchers is definitely an option for sure. And then Unyielding Ancient, roll a d6 each time this model loses a wound. On a 6 the wound is not lost. So you're going to pass that a couple of times. So really he's 8 wounds, but he's more like 9 or 10 if you take that into account, which is great. Then it explodes, and the Blizzard Shield is a 4+ invuln save. So I think he's decent enough for sure. I think we'll line him up now against a few targets. I don't think he's as good as Murderfang. Murderfang's super reliable in close combat, but we'll see what this Venerable Dreadnought can do. So first target is a truck. This is your standard vehicle here to try and hack through. So a little bit less than your standard vehicle, but there's still 10 wounds to try and chomp through here with him. So 4 attacks. We'll fire first. Heavy Flamer. 2 hits. There's a wound and no save. So 1 wound taken. So down to 9. And then the Stormbolter. Oh, no Stormbolter. Sorry, just a Heavy Flame. Okay. So 4 attacks then, lean 2s on the charge. So he's made it into combat. On the charge, lean 2s. Thankfully, they have made it through. And then we're looking for 3s to wound. And that's the danger, is you don't get all the wounds all the time. That was actually a good round. Just 1 has failed in total. AP -3. There's nothing the truck can do. And it's D6 is random. There's 8 wounds there. It's not quite enough. I'll command reroll this 2. It becomes a 1. And then Ramshackles, nothing. Alright, so 7 damage coming through, so just 2 wounds remain. So that's alright. He's taken that down pretty good. We'll give it another go here. So Heavy Flamer, just the 1 hit and no wound. We'll charge in. Not worry about Overwatch here. And then just 4 attacks. Gotta make sure these hit. There's the dreaded miss. I'll leave it. 3s to wound, and yeah, let's see, these have failed. I'd reckon I would command reroll that one. Yep, goes through. And then 2d6 damage. So you've got 7, see if that becomes a 6. No, alright, so, sorry, 6 in total. So again, struggling to get through. He's scary enough. Sometimes I think he'd be good against characters as well. It'd be good charging into against them, because a lower amount of wounds, and usually not too much damage coming through from a character. Not enough of this Venerable Dreadnought to deal with. We'll have one more try. In he goes. Do the Heavy Flamer. 6 hits first of all. 5s to wound. This will help. 5s to save, none. So down to 6. That's actually really helped. And then 4 attacks. Lean 2s. That's the dreaded 1 again. 3s to wound. And those 2 have got through. I'll command, so I've got a command reroll on standby. That one goes through. That's the damage. 1, 5 and 5. This one on a 6 and this one on a 6. No, so 11. So he's done it this time. He's made it into combat here and he's destroyed this orc truck. But he needs help. He's not as reliable as Murderfang. Murderfang was very, very solid there with the dice rolling. So the Venerable Dreadnought's okay, but a bit of survivability. Popping launches as well, just to get that -1, because you know he can be picked on. That's one of the downsides of this guy. So you need to watch out for the opponent's force trying to pick this guy off as he moves in. He's no good if he gets picked off in the first few turns of the game, so deployment's crucial with this one to make sure he's even entirely hidden or sort of as obscured as possible from the opponent. So the less amount of guns pointing at him, the better. He can take some damage, but ideally you don't want any kind of damage coming through on this guy. You're trying to deliver him across the table and then let him loose into the opponent's deployment zone as much as possible. But I still like him. He's reasonable enough. 147 points mine is in total, so reasonable enough in points cost. But you know, visually as well, superb model. Just this Dreadnought lumbering across the table, huge double-sided axe, and this massive blizzard shield here is unique to the Space Wolves, and that's exactly why he's in the army. Hopefully he'll do well. But that's the tactics and showcase here for the Venerable Dreadnought. Multiple combinations. If you do need firepower, then it's a good choice because you've got your solid 2+ weapon skill, which is excellent. But I need close combat ability. I'm trying to escort a number of Dreadnoughts across the board. This is the whole battle plan, and then let them loose inside the heart of the opponent's deployment zone, and that would get a victory, I think, for the Space Wolves. And he's a part of that. Bit of a bullet magnet, but I think decent enough if he can make it into close combat and cause trouble. But there it is. That's the tactics to showcase for the Venerable Dreadnought for the Space Wolves. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.